Welcome to This Week in Jump, week number 9. I'm Ryan,
I'm true.
and this week we'll be going off of my list. And starting off with number 16, I have Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs, chapter 154. This chapter focuses on continuing the story where everybody, with the exception of Yuna, has turned back into a child. Well, a child loosely, like they're like pre-teens. Like nobody's like a baby or an infant. But Oboro leaves because she doesn't know what's going on. Kogarashi keeps getting into mischief, and they all learn that the three families are basically there. We have some hijinks with the outfits. They're all eating because it's breakfast. They just woke up. They're hungry. They find out that everybody's age has decreased by 1/3 of their lifespan, or that they've currently lived. So that's why Nanko goes from being 24 to 18, and even Zashiki Warashi, the inn runner, is still doesn't know anything and doesn't even know that appliances exist, which I thought was hilarious. And yet she's still able to keep them basically under control.
And still able to, have food and everything. And traditional fashion.
Japanese meals. And in this age, Kogarashi was still very much opposed to spirits and just hated them. So he has very much a aversion to Yuna. But we find out that it was because of the Fountain of Youth jar that the landlord had fell over, but the effects have been permanent instead of just being a 6-hour. And despite Yuna being stronger now, she can't break the curse.
I'm still a little baffled on, did someone spike their drinks, or is it
because it's like in the storehouse and then somehow it affected them.
Exactly. That's the part that I need to be told, because I can't figure it out.
So they find out that Miri just ditched, but it's because she had these special talismans that Yuna had created where they could teleport basically back to their place, so they could teleport a person to a specific location. She goes back to her house, Yuna follows, and we find out that the Yonozaka Shakuhito, the one who's going to marry Sagiri from the previous arc, is actually at the inn and just used it as a distraction. And I guess he's going to take out everybody that's there while they're vulnerable.
Yeah, vulnerable, young, weak.
So somehow between him and then we also find that Yuna is also caught by Tenko Nadari, the current head of the Tenko family. And she's not able to break out of it, I guess.
At least not initially.
Not initially. But he apparently has some plans. Don't know exactly what those are.
What's really going on? These arcs go up and down, and then they go nowhere at all.
It's a battle arc now.
I really don't know how to feel about Yuna.
That's why I usually default it, because I'm not sure where it's gonna go.
I was telling you with the dream sequence from before.
Oh, how you felt like you got ripped off?
No, how I thought they were going to go in a completely different direction. Where I thought they were going to go very mainstream, very battle manga-esque. And then they just kind of got rid of that, and then it's going back into that, and I'm just confused.
So, yeah, that's why I put it here. Now, I know this is one of your more favorite ones recently. Okay. Number 15, Yui Camille, Let's Loose. It's more slice of life.
Oh yeah, I did like this one. I just remembered exactly what it was. Guess where we're going.
The zoo.
We're going to the zoo.
But it's not just anybody going to the zoo. It's Kito, and he just randomly ends up with Yui in her white form. But how did we get here? They just ran into each other.
Yeah, literally it's, hey, we live in the same town. We're out in a public space. You're going to randomly come across someone you know eventually. Just like how most people find their friends at the mall or find themselves or find each other at the grocery store, it can happen. It's very normal for it to happen, especially if you live in a town.
Also, we have Now there.
Yeah, Ebby. She
makes herself scarce.
Oh yeah.
Because she wants them to get a little bit more acquainted.
Yes. I don't think she's playing matchmaker. I think Yui needs to be more comfortable with Kito so that Kito can be comfortable
sealing her.
Sealing up Black Yui.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
The amount of detail that's going into these characters' fashion is great. I've said this before. They're actually changing clothes. They're actually wearing different stuff. It's not the same Naruto orange jumpsuit every single time.
He has like 30 in his wardrobe. What are you talking about?
He's
changes
poor.
it after.
He has one, and it gets shredded to pieces. Do we ever see patch marks on there where he fixed it? No.
No, because he pulls out another one from his closet.
But
sidebar.
Anyways.
So anyway, they're spending time together, and Kito's getting actually kind of awkward because despite being around girls all the time, he's never been one-on-one with a girl before. And that being said, in this form, she acts more girly, so she actually gets frightened when a leopard all of a sudden approaches the safari-like type bus that's going around part of the zoo, and actually grabs onto Kito, and he just starts quivering. And he actually starts to look like an apparition because he's moving so violently.
Yeah.
Then he treats her for ice cream. But of course, Now makes an appearance and is like, oh, every guy that's basically been interested in her caves under the pressure. I could see that because she just seems so dainty. The way she's wearing that sweater.
Half on, half off.
It's super moe.
It's fashion.
I know.
And
even in this form, her outfit turns black when a monkey steals her chain.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's her school uniform. It's just whatever she's wearing. And
what if she's wearing something black? Would it turn white?
We'll have to see. But anyways, here you actually see, you were stating about her sweater. Yeah. She actually covers up more in the black form than she does in the white form.
Correct.
She still has her pride. She still has, not everyone gets to see the skin. Not everyone's worthy. And
so in this form, she's more childish, and then is going around looking at the animals as well.
Childish, I would say more outgoing. Willing to experience all that's available.
I say childish only because she's squatting down next to one of the cages, and that reminds me of some children that you see going around the zoo. That's the only reason. As far as attitude and how she talks, yeah, she's still like an adult, completely in mindset.
I see that.
That's the only reason why. And then the monkey lets out a male lion.
Yeah. And the lion looks and walks away. This is typical behavior for animals who are not interested in eating right now.
Yeah, he probably just ate. Or he's eaten recently and isn't hungry.
Yes. But it's still, for any normal person, terrifying just to see a lion that close.
Oh yeah, well, no cage, no protection, yeah. But Yui wants the lion.
She wants a pet lion.
And puts the chain on it. And the lion calms down and actually she sits on it.
Yeah.
But that gives Now the perfect opportunity to turn her back into White Yui.
Because there are several chains that
she has with her
that she has.
But we also have a callback joke of what, I'm on top of the male species again from one of the previous chapters, so it's still good comedy, and I still like it.
Yeah.
Definitely pretty good. Keep that going. Number 14, Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 54.
Okay.
I didn't feel like a whole lot happened in this one. This week. This was the baseball game chapter. The continuation from the last one where we kept making awful puns unintentionally for a while.
I had to cut some out. I still couldn't bring myself to...
Oh, you cut them... Oh, okay.
I cut some of them out. I still kept some of them in.
Out of left field.
Oh, yes.
Right off the bat.
Oh, God.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, continuing on. So, Gojo asked them if they want to continue with the Goodwill event. But he just asked Itadori. It looks like it's targeted towards him, and he's going to answer, and then Todo interrupts and says, well, no, we should just do it. And he gives 3 reasons as to why. And they all seem fairly valid, basically. We need to use this to get stronger. We shouldn't... The ones who should be mourning are the ones who actually know those people. And it won't feel like there's any results if we don't have a definite victor.
Yeah. And normally, for the ending kind of event, it's a one-on-one kind of fighting tournament.
But they do it with a lottery. I don't know why they have Itadori pick it, but he picked baseball.
Yeah. Baseball. And even the educators are still worried that it's baseball. It's pretty funny. But, you know, these are still kids. These are still humans. What's the worst they can do with playing friendly game of baseball?
They hurt each other.
Oh, yeah.
And they take the game extremely seriously. Probably about as much as actually like competitive pro player or just like minor league players do.
Yeah, and then
my favorite one was Todo getting smacked in the face.
Oh yeah, like free run.
Just take your base. Just take your base. Just walk on.
It's better for
then to get a home run.
Opposing team, yeah, to get a man on base rather than a home run, because you know it's gonna happen.
And Itadori immediately is just like, brother, hang on.
Their relationship
it's
bloomed
weird
out of nowhere, and it's great.
But Itadori like was running from him in the last one.
Yeah,
and it's just like they go back and forth. They have that like little like cat and mouse kind of thing. It reminds me of Kenpachi and Ichigo.
Like, hey, let's fight.
Yeah,
like I trusted your power, but come on, let's fight. I wanna have some fun.
Yeah, that's the kind of dynamic I get there.
Yeah.
But Todo is definitely more bro-y.
Yeah.
Than Zaraki.
Definitely
Zaraki's
more friendly.
I want to fight you. So you have the higher ups, Yaga and Gakuganji, talking about how they feel as far as keeping Itadori alive rather than going on and killing him. And they said, well, let's just see.
Which is good, because I don't want our
main character to die again.
Yeah.
No, sorry. You get one time to die. Unless you're Yusuke. You can die twice. And come back again. So, Tokyo ends up winning 2-0 of the Goodwill event. And then that's pretty much it for that chapter. That's why I didn't really put it that high. It was mostly just a feel-good romp during the middle section. It's just
I think it's a good reset.
Yes.
Like, going from...
Tonally, it resets it, yeah.
Yeah. It's not very... It's somewhat comedic. It's still very serious, you know, talking about Itadori, seeing if they want to keep him alive or not.
Yeah.
It helps set the tone for back to somewhat normalcy.
Yeah, because, I mean, even, like, in the previous ones, there's parts where it's not super serious, and it needs that, like, relief from everything being so dark and dismal. Moving on, number 13, Hellward and Haguma, chapter 15. I did not put these in the order they are on the Jump website. It just kind of happened like that, for the most part. We see Haruma in the in-between, but this is the dark in-between that Enma can't see because of the old man.
This is like a pseudo space, kind of like a purgatory, but a dark realm of it.
Yeah. And so far, she's been the only, I'm probably getting ahead of myself, the only Hell Warden to be able to go into that space. Because prior to that, I guess for whatever reason, other ones were prevented from going there. So Haruma decides to help Engetsu to actually destroy Enma. And it's to basically free them of the duty of having to be Hell Wardens and being damned. And they also have to deal with Akagane the Molten as just an ever-looming presence. And because Higuma's about to be 10, Akagane is going to be coming real soon. Meaning she'll die as well.
Yeah.
So she has priority with wanting to get that handled. And she wakes up in her bed. Do they go there in their mental state, or is it just that they physically go to this in-between? I cannot tell.
I think it might be a mental thing, because we've seen Higuma wake up in
their bed. So it's a mental thing.
Yeah, with like Roku was supposed to wake him up, and
right,
still there. And in this case, Haruma kind of doesn't get woken up by Higuma, but he's looming over her.
Well, it's super tiny. I wish the image was larger. They have a flashback in her memory about seeing her own parents dead.
Yeah.
And they I guess they just didn't want to dwell on it that long. They're like, okay, let's just wrap this up.
I honestly am okay with that, because we've been told time and time
that they die.
That they die. This is a lineage thing. It has been happening for several generations.
I think they said like 400 years. However many generations it is, I do not know.
However long this devil has been.
They're fugitive spirits.
Yes. So
it's very confusing.
Yeah.
Everything being
so however long the fugitive spirits have been in hell, which we saw I think it was either 300 or 400.
No, he escaped 400. He was in there for 800, 750.
I'll put the correct amount of years up in here
it's
for
a lot.
you.
It's more than any fugitive spirit that Higuma's faced, and therefore it's stronger than all of them, or so Haruma feels anyway.
Yeah.
So she ends up having to treat Higuma to breakfast, and he went away because his dad was scolding him, and he wants to stick to his ideals of being able to be friendly with everybody else, and mostly his family, and have people not hurt each other, which is a very childlike and idealized way of looking at the world, because everything isn't so black and white. Everything is kind of gray.
Yeah.
So his father, Azuma, finds the note that he left, and Haruma brings a knocked out Higuma. I guess she probably did the chop to the neck, KO'd him.
Or he could just be tired.
Nah. Maybe.
I
don't know. I think she knocked him out.
If he was knocked out, I don't think he would wake up.
You think so?
I think so.
Well, if she knocked him out at her place, whatever. Doesn't really matter. And the Kitsune from the previous arc is here, talking with Engetsu about basically only telling a partial truth. She's being influenced by his smoke. It apparently is able to bring out their desire and muddle their reasoning. So, since she was the only person susceptible to it, she became a pawn. And it doesn't seem like he has any intention. I forgot to mention the scrolls. That Haruma was supposed to get the scrolls from Azuma to give to Engetsu. Forgot to mention that.
These very important scrolls that I have no idea what their significance is.
It was information on... I wrote it down. Information on her clan That's basically what it was information about. I guess it has to do with something related to Enma, but
Okay.
it's related to their clan.
Maybe their deal, I guess.
Yeah. So now that Haruma's out in the open, she's not in the in between in the dark realm, the dark one. Enma can see all of this, and he's already listening in on the conversation that they're having about basically Haruma's rebellion and wanting to end it, or end the servitude, and them having to constantly be hell wardens for life. Otherwise, they go to hell. Azuma refuses.
Yeah, just straight up,
I
very
refuse.
bluntly, like you're not being you. What's wrong with you? You would never say this.
And she realizes it too, that
Yeah.
she was just being influenced by Ngetsu.
Yeah. And as soon as she realizes,
Higuma's waking up,
yeah,
and BAM!
she gets stabbed. What looks like through the heart,
Yeah, that's
through her back.
That's through the entire body,
Yeah.
very, very cleanly by the Molten. You're unworthy, because at that point, he wouldn't really see her like as a Hell Warden, more of just a, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically like a coward, because she's trying to do the coward's way out rather than facing her adversary head on.
Yeah.
She's trying to take the easy way out.
It seems like Akagane definitely has fun fighting Hell Wardens. He likes the mortal fight in them.
I think he likes the uncertainty of the fight,
Yeah.
because it seems like he almost wants to be beaten in battle, or he has that desire to have a fun fight, and if he can't have that, he'll just kill you.
Yeah.
And this apparently is something that replays in Higuma's mind in his dreams, is this sequence that we're seeing here.
Yeah.
So this might be the
Terrifying.
end of this flashback. I hope we might be able to see Azuma actually fight the Molten in one more chapter. Like, give me one more chapter of flashback, or they might just cut right back to Higuma's main fight in the current time.
I would like that. I would like to see that right now, just so that we can get it out of the way and we have a very certain amount of hatred for Akagane, and maybe see some more special powers that Higuma's father has.
Possibly. Next up is number 12, Haikyuu, chapter 344.
Off of hiatus.
Off of hiatus last week. Now it's back on. Hinata is in wow of Korai's ability to actually set up his fellow teammates from
Yeah.
the previous chapter.
Yeah, manipulator of the field, and he doesn't need
Jack
to be
of
the
all trades.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be the star. As long as his team wins.
Although in the next page he actually just does a serve and is able to get a point.
Yeah,
So-
just by himself.
He's very much a core part of his team.
Where even it's a little strange that they gave him like an ace off of his serve right off the bat, where the OG Little Giant commented that Hinata's serve was very basic. And we see another competitor for the Little Giant title gets an ace immediately. This still goes back to what I think, that Hinata will get some training on a good serve. Might not come up very often, but it will be a growing point for Hinata.
You have several more exchanges, including another serve from Hinata, but it's not able to get a point.
Yeah.
Actually, they're able to recover from it, and Korai, again, is able to target Hinata, who can't receive it properly, and it winds up going out, thus getting them another point. I forgot to mention, Ryu was actually able to get a point, so that's why they didn't really lose. They're even because of Azumane next, able to get them a point back. But there's the other team is switching up their tactic, and they're now doing the stack block, which is, I'm guessing, what the author had to research and why they took a brief hiatus. So, Kamomidai switches up to stack block, and they move as a single unit. But their reactions are really, really accurate. They're able to prevent a point and get a block point off of Suki. And then they start taking a commanding lead, 14-12. Which, if they're able to keep that up, they'll win this set.
Yeah.
And Suki actually mentions to him, to Kageyama, quit running away.
They're like, running away, running.
Run?
Oh, say what? I was like, oh,
he's provoking him.
Yeah. You know how to make your friends mad. I wouldn't consider them, friends, but teammates. Flipping a switch like this adds in unpredictability, which I think is what he's betting on. Is all of them being a little bit
more fired
up, more unpredictable, so they can't just mark them as they were with the stack block.
Yeah, because they have a illustration of the current layout of Karasuno's team layout, and with the stack block, they're able to cover and block them fairly well. I am curious as to how they're going to counter that, or Karasuno anyway. How do you counter what is for these early part considered to be like a perfect defense? Is Kageyama going to try a dump shot? Is he going to try and set up... Are they going to do the unison attack where everybody's going to go?
Are they going to try something new that they've been practicing and haven't told us? Who knows? We'll find out in the next chapter.
Dun, dun, dun. Meanwhile... Alright. Next, number 11, The Last Sayuki. Do you have any strong opinions on that before I even get into it?
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's
alright.
Okay, I'm going to gauge your opinion. Is it better than it has been when it started?
Yes.
Okay. That's fair. Oh, yes. And that's also why I put it higher than I thought I would. And it's because of what happens later on in this chapter. We'll get into that. So we have a white monster, a white Baku, that is able to get Shigi's memories and replace them with dream memories.
Yes, but first it needs to bite on his head and put him to sleep.
Yeah, this is why I let you say that. I like this dynamic. This is working.
This is
what?
Okay. Several questions. Why does Ryunosuke's father have a spirit just trapped in a box? And it looks like they're on friendly terms.
Yeah, because it even gives them a thumbs up.
Yeah, so maybe and he returns to the box after he's done his job.
Yes.
Do they have some
kind of contract?
Do they have some kind of contract, or... But if they do, what does he gain from it? What does the Baku gain from this?
I'm guessing that it's just like a friendly monster.
Maybe. We're not sure, but Shige falls asleep.
Yes.
And we learned a little of how this Baku works. That
it's able to prepare the Mu box to the previous state it was in before it was opened.
Yes. And it modifies memories as well.
Yes.
And modifies those memories to pretend as if they were dreams,
Yes.
and then to fill that void makes up other memories.
Yeah, so Shigi wakes up, and Ryunosuke is just like, oh, you just fell asleep. Oh, and then he starts coughing, pretending like he's still sick. Shigi actually tucks him into bed, and is like, oh, I had a weird dream. It was just like the first time that we met. I had that really good, I hope we can be friends feeling. And that's just painful, because Koharu was the reason that Shigi was feeling those feelings, but now he just thinks it's a dream, and it's just because of Ryunosuke.
And Koharu is on the other side of a paper wall, listening in on this.
Yes. And as he leaves, she says bye-bye.
Shige.
Completely behind Ryunosuke, literally in his shadow.
She's crying.
Yes. She wanted to make a friend. She had a friend.
She had a friend for a moment. A normal, no spiritual energy friend.
And then Sai appears. The kid from 2 chapters ago. So you have Sai, the one who killed the classroom full of kids.
And who manipulated Shige, being terrified of this creature that was killed in the previous chapter.
Yes. And he is the second in command of the Followers of Chaos, which are the ones that are after Koharu.
Yeah.
And we also learned that Ryunosuke's dad took Koharu from Sai, and that they're siblings.
Yes.
But before that happens, Ryunosuke's dad loses his arm. Because Sai, I guess, was able to materialize the pole that's able to extend and just burned through his arm. And I'm wondering where this is going to go. It feels like a squash fight.
If he wanted to take her away and, Sai wanted to get revenge, he seems like a sadistic... He said he's not a human.
Yes.
A sadistic creature. He's going to make them suffer. And I hope there are some allies that will help, or Koharu activates her ability and is able to take him away. Or teleport Sai away.
What I was wondering was... I wonder what his power sets are, because Koharu has to obviously be stronger, otherwise he wouldn't be seeking her help. Because he would, if he's already strong enough to conquer everything, he would do it. So he needs her, so therefore she must have some type of power, like you're saying, where she can just make him disappear or go like another side of the planet, and then he has to find his way back to wherever she is hiding next.
A good end to a chapter, because we really have no information on this guy, and he just disarmed his adversary who is trained in this.
Yeah, up to this point, Ryunosuke's father has seemed like pretty much invincible.
Yeah.
He's had good reaction time to the monsters, both in just aiming for the head, or... Well, he's only taken out 2, but still. He did them... He didn't look like he was struggling. Is basically my point. But this character must be much stronger.
Yes.
So we'll go ahead and end part 1 here. And stay tuned for part 2.